Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends videos. We've been getting a lot of subscribers in the last couple of days, so I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all the new viewers in particular that are out there subscribing on today's video. Welcome to the channel, hope you enjoy your time. With that being said, there is a pretty decent buff actually coming to free-to-play players in Raid, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about that in today's video. But on top of that, there's some other information that we gotta look into. Patch 420 is coming to the game, and besides being a meme number, there's actually a pretty good amount of AI changes as well, making some characters more useful than they used to be. So we're gonna talk about all of those, because there might just be a couple characters on this list that you have hidden in your vault you can get some use out of. Also, Dungeons 20 through 25 are going to be coming out shortly, and so we're going to be testing that live. So if for some reason you would like to ever see me live, I'm going to be going live today. I'm at twitch.tv/Darth Microtransaction. The link can also be found in the description or in my Discord. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video.
Well, pod. Welcome, well, pod. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Darth Microtransactions channel, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. Well, pod, welcome back.
Okay, it is update 420. Here we go. And we can skip all the chatting and all that stuff. Let's get into the stuff that you guys want to see for today. Now, there's the new dungeon stages are obviously coming. Now, I need to make a kind of a shout out, correction, whatever you want to call it. I did this video about Karam, poison popping. It doesn't say anywhere in here that poisons don't work, but I keep getting people sending me a message saying poisons don't work in the the Doom Tower or whatever, but it doesn't say that it's the same passives as the Doom Tower. It just says on new stages additional passives. One will limit turn or decrease, the other will limit the damage from attacks that scale based upon the target's max HP. Okay, I don't know if poison counts as an attack. You know what I mean? It's a debuff. I don't know if this it doesn't actually say it's the same strategies. See, it says, with that in mind, even tried and tested strategies might need to be adjusted when you venture into new stages. Don't forget that even basic enemies on the new stages will be stronger. So I'm not sure. I still don't see it from them that it's not going to work, because unless they specifically said something in like the Plarium content creator chat, what they're telling the populace here, what they're telling the players, it doesn't say anything about poisons. So I've had a couple people DM me saying the Doom Tower passive doesn't allow for this. I'm not talking about the Doom Tower. I'm talking about the new dungeons. I understand the Doom Tower doesn't work. I want to know from them whether or not poisons count as an attack that scales based upon target's max HP. It's just a debuff. So the wording isn't there for me. I feel like the case is still out on this one, but then again, maybe the content creator chat, they have some news in there. I don't know. But moving on here, there's two particular ones I'm going to talk about. They're rebalancing the Void champions. The legendary ones probably don't matter too much for you unless you happen to have a Solus or a Whirlum. But the one in particular that does matter, and this is really where I think free-to-play is getting a pretty huge buff, is the guaranteed legendary that everyone gets, okay? Everyone gets a Vizix the Unbowed is actually getting a pretty significant buff. And let's walk through that, okay? So the Flanged Mace move, 80% chance to decrease target's turn meter by 15% instead of 10%. So 15 is obviously better than 10, and that's with each hit, okay? But look at this, Sinister Allies, this is better. Skill redesigned. No longer places a shield buff on herself, and instead does 50% ally protection buff on all allies for 2 turns. Meaning it's kind of like a Skull Crusher, right? Where you get the ally protection everybody, or Miscreate Monster. You know, the characters that do team-wide protection. That's okay. All right, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. You can build her tanky. Now here's where she actually gets a little bit better. Check this out. It's called Single Combat. The skill has been redesigned. Attacks all enemies which it used to only attack one enemy, so it was kind of useless, and places a provoke debuff on them for 1 turn. Now here's why this is kind of, well, let me explain the rest of the move first. And then she shields herself equal to 20% of her HP. Okay, there you go. Now, there's a reason this is actually particularly good. Before provoking, one person is essentially useless on waves. I mean, you provoke one guy, all 4 other go and kill everybody. But Vizix is, in fact, a void legendary, meaning that she's not going to weak hit ever, and if she has enough accuracy, granted as long as the person doesn't have block debuffs or something, those provokes will land. 100% CC on AoE is actually really important for free-to-play people, and I'm not just talking about faction wars or something stupid. Like, it's actually good in Doom Tower, it's actually good in some of the waves. I'll give you another example. For instance, in Spider, one of the things that's difficult is trying to get your character to survive long enough. And sometimes what people do is they'll have a tank. They'll put like Armiger or Badao or, you know, whatever level of force tank they have in there and get the Spirelings to attack that person, just to have them survive. You could kind of effectively do the same thing with Vizix now in Spider 20. You can AoE provoke all the Spiderlings, which she then shields herself, and she buys some time for the team. That's just one example that literally is coming to my head right now, but I think it's a fair enough example to give you an idea of why this buff takes her from being basically completely unusable for the average player into this character is probably going to now help some free-to-play people with some of the content maybe they weren't able to deal with before. Now, if you're an in-game free-to-play person where you have mini legendaries, this character probably doesn't, you know, really improve you that much, granted. But for the people who are just now getting her and maybe have had bad luck, maybe they didn't pull the best characters in the game with a free-to-play account, this character is actually usable now. So I think this is a thumbs up, and DM seal of approval, POW stamped for this redesign. I actually like it. Couple real high quality AI updates here, namely for the clan boss, admittedly. Characters, for instance, like Sifi the Lost Bride, Warlord, Tayrell, these type of characters are all now going to use the proper moves on auto for clan boss. This is great. It's not a huge, massive change, but it is in fact a cleanup of the AI. This is nice temporarily while we're waiting on the AI changes. If you guys didn't know, we're supposed to actually have prioritizing your skill moves built into the game coming soon, quote unquote. We'll see. It was on the What's Next Raid Shadow Legends type of video they did on their official channel. So we'll have to see about that. Something else that's actually insane for an AI update. Okay, this is a really big deal. I have Xavia's. I can tell you this is going to be a big deal, which is Xavia will no longer use her Deadly Catalyst skill if the target has no poison debuffs. This is the same for Elenaro. What this does is it allows you to build these characters around the fact that you can poison pop waves. So now, if Xavia is too fast and your other poisoners don't go off, she's not going to be using her A3. Now, there's probably an argument that this is actually a bad thing, because a lot of the times what happens is I get my defense down weakened from Draco, one of the Xavias will A3 and kill the whole wave and block the revive. There is a block revive on top of the poison, so maybe you want an AI to do that, but it is effectively better for the majority of the people that are using Xavia, because instead what's going to happen is now she's going to A2 and poison everyone first, then try to pop her own poisons instead of A3ing and then poisoning people, which didn't really make a lot of sense. So I get that, but for the most optimal, like, hilarious builds, right, there might be some multiple Xavia guy like myself who would say, okay, well, there's certain situations, but for 99.9% of people, these changes are massive, especially Elenaro, because Elenaro's A3, literally all it did was exploit the poisons. That's it. So she would be doing that and just basically skipping her turn and putting that move on cooldown. So that's a huge change in the positive for sure. These are good. These are good changes. The rest of the AI stuff like Tayrell isn't going to use useless moves like his A3 on Clan Boss and stuff like that, okay? They're all good AI changes. Which I think I would like to mention here, which is War Mother will use her Mother's Touch skill on bosses the target has active bomb debuff. So what they mean is if there's bombs, she's going to use the move. And this move pops bombs, if you didn't know. It's sort of like the poison popping ability, but for bombs. So what we could be seeing is maybe a change in meta from poison popping to bomb popping. War Mother suddenly the best legendary in the game. We don't know, okay? We'll have to see again when the dungeons come out. I'm going to be doing live progression of it and trying to figure it out, because I'm not on the test server. I don't have beta access to any of this stuff. I don't do anything but test it when it's in the game. So if you want to see somebody from the perspective of you, like when it's out, I know what's going on. I'm the guy. Also, at this end of the video here, I want to let you know today is the last day you have to get in on a well account giveaway. We are giving away a multiple $1,000, ton of legendary, real high-end Raid Shadow Legends well account, okay? If you want that Raid account, all you got to do is 1, be a subscriber of this channel, 2, leave the comment Darth Microtransaction on today's video. That's it, okay? The announcement's going to be in the Discord when I give it away, and I'll pin the YouTube comment on the video where we give that away. If you want to know what video that was, it's actually the Karam poison popping video, okay? So go watch that one, which is the one that's relevant to today's video as well. I'll put it on the end screen here so you can watch it. I love you all. Make sure you get in that giveaway. Last chance today. Thanks for all the new subscribers, and I'll see ya on the next video.